Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Time of Jesus. And what is going on in this world today? Boy, I'll tell you, every day is a new adventure. Every day we got to be watching. We got to keep our eyes sight on where the Lord is and where we are in the time of frames that we are, the things that are happening. I'm telling you, it's coming, and people, you just keep denying and denying. You know, you can deny all you want, but you know, the Lord's been speaking for how long? How many videos have I done with repentance, examination? Examine yourselves. Hopefully you guys are getting it and you're doing it and not just taking it lightly, because the time is upon us. I mean, if you can't look out there and see the rumors of wars and all the events that are taking place, and you know, the break it down of where we are, you know, man, we're in reverse back to Genesis, people. You know, it's total chaos out there. We're going to see more. That's a promise. I mean, there's nowhere in the Bible where it says that it's not a promise. You know, you look at technology, you look at what's going on with technology, you look at where the falling away from the churches is starting to happen, because you know, you look at why is the falling away happening right now, because we're not seeing the hand of God so much. You know, you go into the majority of the churches anymore, and they're in their own little groups, you know, and you know, we are to love and witness and be out there doing God's work. But how do you learn to do that? Why would anybody want to walk into a church these days when they hear and see all the things that are going on, when there is no I guess proof? You know, we you know, it's that thing, you're innocent until proven guilty. Okay, we have to prove the existence, but not like you think. It's being a Christian every day and picking up the cross and following him daily. That's what we have to do. And that's where we need to be every day of the week, and not just on Sundays and we go out of there feeling fresh, and you know, you praise and worship, and you went in there. I mean, there's so many things that you just feel like, man, what just happened? You know, you don't fall into that category like you think that you believe. Not believe, but that you belong. You know, people, this darkness is coming. This shutting down of your phones, technology, you might as well be prepared for it. Not only should you be prepared for that, but if you got youth, if you got these days people in elementary school, because we all know, look at the things that are happening. Kids throwing down stuff, throwing tantrums, beyond that, busting TVs, whether or not it was a real TV or there's already have a problem with them, they're getting a new one and they're just making a video. But I don't find any of that funny. I mean, I really don't, because you're allowing your children to not understand what's pretend and what's not, because the enemy will use everything that you put into place. How many of these people that sat there and falsely accused people, and well, I know it was him, or I know it was her, or I know it was, this is the only way it was, but because they don't believe in the Watchers. But I find it amazing today, more and more people are talking about the Watchers. More and more people are talking about Skinwalker's Ranch. Many more people are talking about the aliens, because in the final times, when the people are lifted upwards, they're going to say aliens. You know how many people believe all in this? Darlene's oldest daughter truly believes in aliens are coming to this earth. Well, you go ahead and believe that. You go ahead and sit here and you go ahead and enjoy that rest of that journey into the gates of hell. That's all I can say, people. And I'm not being mean. I'm not judging her. She used to be a good follower of Christ. You know, she wanted to go to church. She believed in all that. Now all of a sudden it's a nightmare, because Satan loves to twist. You know, all he's got to do is stir the water just a little bit to get you your sail to start blowing into the other direction. And you believe everything you hear, you believe everything you see, and that's where you go into the wrong. This is where you go into falsely accusing because you're mad, you're upset, you're pissed off, whatever the reason may be. You choose what the jinn turns into. I remember back in Mogador when Darlene was talking to her son on the phone, and she seen a black cat jump on the screen and come through the hole. Well, I got tired of fixing those screens because we were actually dog sitting for someone at the time, and the dogs, right when I got them fixed, man, I said, yeah, okay, bring them over, and they ran right through the freaking screens again. I'm like, I'm done fixing these screens. I'm done. So at that point, in the winter times, the dogs would just run out through the bottom of the screens because there was just basically a door flap for them. Because, you can only fix so many things, people, and you just get sick and tired of doing it. And the crazy part is, they were like that when I moved in. So, if there wasn't a problem before, why should there be a problem now? I don't know. But it always turns into a problem. Why? Because somebody always wants to point the finger. For whatever reason, instead of speaking the truth, why someone's upset, we can go into a whole different situation on that. But let me get back on track here. Not that I'm off track, because whatever happens, whatever journey I go down, it's because the Lord wants it. So many people come against this channel, and so many people speak, well, now say this and that. Well, you come and do it. I'll step away, and you come and do it. Or do your own and invite me on there. And then let me criticize your way of doing things, because it gets a little exhausting. But I'm okay with it. Do whatever you got to do. Say whatever you want to say, and just continue on. Okay, and I'll continue on doing what I do. At least you're leaving somebody else alone. So you go to the Skinwalker Ranch, and you go into what all happens in there, the shift changers. You look at Area 51. We have no idea what's going on in there, but, UFOs. My guy, people, we've been hearing about UFOs. I remember my dad talking about stories when he was a kid, that UFOs and all of this stuff. You look at the sci-fi even back there. You had Lost in Space, and, Star Trek, Star Wars, and, Odyssey, and all these things that come out of the middle of nowhere, the Jetsons. We can go down the list of space. And really, in reality, we talk about Armstrong being the first man to step on the moon. It's not necessarily the truth either. There is stuff out there that it was basically not true. I mean, he never really did, because of the uncertainty of what was going on. And you look at Hollywood today, people, and if you think that we can't make something look rough and terrain and shove a flag down inside of something, you look at Armageddon. Look how real that was. I mean, if somebody played a footage of that and saying this is what's going on in space right now, would you believe it or not believe it? I mean, it's very convincing. That's why it's called a movie. That's why they're called actors, because they got to act to make you believe. You look at wrestling, although its storylines are way out there anymore, and it's gone. To me, wrestling's really got far away from what it used to be. Anymore you can watch wrestling, and you can watch, if you stare at them long enough, you can see them turning before they're supposed to turn to look at where the people are. Like if they're up on a ladder or something, or somebody's going to push the ladder, they're already turned looking to get their attention, to make sure they stop the blow and at least catch the person so nobody gets hurt. I mean, yes, people get hurt. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, what they're doing is entertainment. World Wrestling Entertainment. I mean, it is what it is. And if you really buy into the hype of all this, they're enemies, they hate each other and all this stuff. Some of them probably do, I'd imagine, because I've watched videos of The Undertaker and them, you're saying, even Brock Lesnar, saying there's a lot of people they didn't like. And I'm not just pinpointing them, it's out there. But, you look at the majority of the women, there's footages and stuff of them going out and partying together and all that kind of stuff in the clubs and stuff, you know. So you can't always go off people. It's entertainment, okay? You pay to go be entertained. That's it. You know, you can't think nothing more about it or nothing less. I mean, do they perform the stuff? Yeah, I mean, they've slipped up even on their live and talk about, you know, things like that. You know, that's just how the world is. What does this have to do with life? Everything, people, because this is what the enemy does. He entertains you, and you believe it. You know, I even if we could go back 5 years, 8 years, and I knew what was going to take place. I knew what was going to take place because the Lord told me. He prepared me for the journey that I've been on, and I tell you, you know, it's to the point now where, you know, you forgive people and you let them have their thoughts, but truth is coming. Truth is coming. And when the truth, most of the truth is already out there, but you can't, you know, the sinners can't accept it, because then people are going to look at them. People are going to point the finger and say, wait a minute, you said. That's what they don't want to hear. But I'd rather hear that than walk into the pits of hell. That's just my opinion. And they're firm believers that, you know, I would believe that they think they're not going to hell. They think that they're going to repent. The thief on the cross. It's somebody else's fault. It's not my fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Always. I've never seen such craziness in my life, that people that live in this realm. I've never, even when I was in the darkest days, I've never blamed it on anybody else. Never blamed my mom. I was pissed off at my mom. Didn't understand, and never really did get into, and it never really did get why she did what she did. The only thing it amounts down to that I can shake a term at, I guess, is it was always over some man, you know, and unfortunately that's what it was, and that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. You know, but so we go into today's time, and we just look at life and go, what's next? I guess is a better way to put it. And each step that we take, we have to examine ourselves. Because people, when these shape changers and all these things start taking place, and it does it right in front of your eyes, and it's no more on these videos and this mockery of stuff, and you look at the timing of Christ is coming, you know, and you look at these creatures and all these things that are happening, you know. God said he would open up the Bible and he would expose the whole Bible to everybody. He's shown you everything that's taken place. We're basically seeing Goliath and some of these giants. It's basically just another Goliath, people. You know, you go back when when God sent the angels down here and they had sex with women. It's in the Bible. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. See, and here's where reality checks out, because people have a hard time believing those type of things take place. So why is it so difficult to believe when things happen in your life going, well, I just can't believe this. You can't believe things. You know why? Because you claim that this is happening to me and I don't understand why this is happening, but yet you know, it's always a problem. But then when you start hearing about it, I wonder if these people start looking back at their lives going, oh wow, maybe what was happening was real. Maybe I missed a great opportunity to be received into heaven then. You don't know what God does, why he does what he does, But why are we questioning everything? Satan wants you to question every single thing that goes on in your life. Everything. Here, you could be in prayer and you hear it and you doubt it. You can get a letter sent to you and with no return address, and you would doubt it. You could get a text message and you would deny it because you believe it at first and then you doubt it. You could hear somebody give you a message. But it's amazing when now that all this is taking place, people are starting to believe it. Because more and more people speak it. Because you all have your favorite people that you listen to. And we call them prophets, or messengers, or prophetic people. They pray, they hear from the Lord, and they're giving you the truth. But have they always spoke the truth? No. Because they have said stuff, and I know one in particular that comes to my head that I know that has said a few things that it wasn't the way it was. In the case, people, it can't even come true now. It can't come true because the event already happened. It changed, but it happened later on. But it wasn't how they said it. God didn't make a mistake. The person made a mistake. I believe sometimes people hear things and get wisdom from God, but I think human steps in and talks about what's going on in the governments and all that kind of stuff, and then you start running by what man says. See, Donald Trump has said a lot of things that he shouldn't have said, because he can't just say this is what I'm going to do because you think you have that power and authority. You don't. Because if you did, we would already have these things changed. We've been hearing about all these stimuluses. We've been hearing about all this money, this payback. And I mean, it's like every couple months, I listen to somebody else saying we're supposed to get to. My gosh, man, if we were supposed to get all this money that people are saying that we're supposed to be getting, we would be very well off right now. But what would you do with it? Really, what would you do with it? Go out and spend it? Just put it in the bank? Pay off your bills? What would you do with it? Would you do anything good with it? Besides what I just said? Maybe go on vacation? Where would you go? And I'm talking within reasons of your finances, not no Bahamas and Hawaii. And personally, I always wanted to go to Hawaii. I care less if I ever see it. I mean, honestly, it just does. I don't have a desire anymore to see it. I've seen so much of this corrupted world. I've seen so much how nasty this world is. And if you think, like I did that video a while back about Noah, when I used the yellow van as Noah's Ark. Hey, I thought it was pretty creative, okay? It's the best thing that I had that I could see that reminded me of somewhat of an ark. Why? I don't know. It just did. But what are you going to do when everything's locked down, people? I really want you to think about this for a minute. What are you going to do when your food sources is being delivered to your house? What are you going to do when you are told to go do this job? It might not even be the job you have today, because they're shutting stuff down slow but sure. Our great inventor is killing us with these robotic, electric. And we're just sitting here thinking this is the greatest thing ever. You won't be thinking that when you're laid off from your job. See, people, the census don't need to be done anymore because they know where everybody is, because they know by the COVID. They know by how many people went into the doctors. They know how many people got booster shots and where you were at because it's recorded. They don't need to do census. They just need to make you sick. Then they start doing process of elimination. Well, who didn't get a shot? Who didn't do this? I didn't get a shot. I'd rather get sick. I'm not afraid to die. If I die, I die. I die to the world, but I live again. The same as he who went onto the cross. All this evidence these days of the existence of Christ. Well, they proved that he walked. They proved he walked here. He was on this planet. Whether you just hold him as a prophet or you just hold it as a good book, that good book seems to be coming alive. Think about it. You know, darkness, people, you know, remember when we were talking about this today, the 3 days of darkness, and everybody was running around panicking. For what? You know, did I prepare for it? Well, I did put some stuff over because we were, you know, most of the time we were sleeping down in the basement, and so I did put covering over the basement. But I'm glad I did because it's dark down here, and even like today, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I'm laying down here, and I couldn't tell you if it was 4 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night. That's how dark it stays, and I actually like that. Even when I was in the truck, you know, the bunk curtains and stuff. Somebody asked me, why do you close your curtains over your windshield and the curtains over your bunk when you got to get up and just undo all that? Because when I get up, I can open my bunk curtain and get things ready and all that kind of stuff. You know, it doesn't matter how I get out of bed. See what I'm saying? You know, it's still covered, and I got that freedom. You know, the same as I have here. So you just look at life and go, it is what it is, right? Or is it? Is this really our life? Or is it all a dream? You know, it's coming, people. You know, the last thing you want to do is not be ready. And it's almost like here's your get out of jail free card. I don't know why I'm coughing so much. Like, here's your get out of jail free card. Take it and use it. And use it now. But the time's going to go, and people are just going to continue on the pathway, and out of control of these kids, out of control of the world. And you know, you look at the people. Look at people. Just start looking at people around you, okay? Start looking at how people act. You know, the attitudes, and you know, they're all about themselves. And you know, we went to the library to print out something the other day, and this guy was getting mad because a handicapped person was backing in, and we were getting ready to pull in, and he was just freaking out. I mean, just acting bizarre. It was all bizarre was going to get. Goes in and comes right back out, and was mumbling all the way back up to his car. People, this is everywhere. This is happening everywhere. And if you really think you're going to have the freedom to walk down the road and to go hiking, to go jogging, to go do all these things, you know, the problem is we put too much focus on ourselves, okay? We're losing what's going on in the world. We're losing the creepiness of it is. We're watching these videos on Facebook and YouTube. You know, everybody, I'm sure by now, has not heard it. You have seen it. The guy that's dressed up like Michael Myers. If you're on Facebook, I'm sure it pops up somewhere. I seen this feed the other day, and I'm like, what in the world is this? The guy dresses up like Michael Myers. Started off with just him. Now he's got his son dressed up, and he takes him around inside this little cart hauled behind his bicycle, and you know, he sits on the piano and he plays it. His little son dances with the knife in his hand, and they go in stores, they go in campgrounds, they go on all this stuff. But we're finding this entertaining. You find evil entertaining? You're laughing at evil? You ain't gonna be laughing when evil's coming through your door. Then you can put on your little Halloween thing and put your little knife and woo, 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 woo. No, you're gonna be running screaming. Bullets ain't gonna stop it, people. Bullets cannot stop a demon. Manifestation, when it happens in front of you, and them shift changers and the watchers, your watcher, manifests straight out of the darkness. These shadows are starting to move more and more. I've seen them. Matter of fact, I got to start asking the Lord, Lord, was that an angel of yours or is that a shadow? Because I got to react quickly, because I don't want nothing attached. Because when you're allowing these things to come in, when you're allowing yourself to go into these scary movies, when you're allowing this scariness to come into your house, these books, these movies, these dolls, and all these things, what are you thinking is happening? You can go to church and you can play fake Christian all night and day. Well, I feel sorry for you. You might as well not even go to church at all. I'm serious. What is the sense? I never went to church. You know why I didn't go to church? Because I was a sinner and I knew that's the path I was on. I don't play back and forth, back and forth. I'm a Christian. I'm going to church. Woo, look at me, look at me, look at me. And close your eyes and sway. But yet one eye open. Sleep with one eye open. Wonder where they got that saying from, huh? You know, but I've watched it over and over and over, week after week after week, and I'm going, why do you even go to church? Well, the truth of it is because we force people to go to church. We made them go. We don't make it. You're a grown adult. You're a grown adult. You choose. You choose the path that you're on. You choose where you're at. You believe where you're at. But truth is not feasible for the people today. Because you don't want to hear you're false. That's how Satan's controlling you. Your children are out of control. You're not listening to your children. We're too busy glued to that thing called a cell phone. Technology, tablets, earbuds. Everybody's walking around. I mean, every store I go in, somebody's got an earbud in. And when did jobs become like this? And some people say, well, you know, I asked the manager once, I said, well, when did we start allowing all that? Well, they show up for work. Excuse me? You allow them to take authority over your position that you hired them for. I can understand if they're in a warehouse part or something like that, but I can't understand if you're in a warehouse and you got conveyor belts, that type of warehouse. But I'm saying like the warehouse part of Walmart, where the trucks come in, they unload their trucks. I can understand that to a point. Maybe one end, but not two, where they can listen to music, because it was extremely boring back there. Listening to everybody's partying and their effects, and I wasn't a Christian back then, but I really didn't want to hear all their details and all the crap about their lives. I really didn't want to hear it. So I can understand back then if we had that, I would probably put one in, but I wouldn't have wore it on the floor when I was stocking the shelves and stuff like that. Because in these days, I mean, I've watched people at Walmart. It's supposed to be hanging clothes on the racks for people to purchase, and sitting there watching. I went and told the manager, and they said, yeah, they do that all the time. There's nothing we can do about it. The manager of the Walmart I was at, because I was there delivering a load, and I was going to end up staying the night there. So I get in, we'll just be able to walk around inside there, because I don't know that area. I mean, it's dark. I'll be damned if I'm going to walk around and someone comes out and does whatever. It's not the fact of that, people, but I don't really feel like being stabbed to death, okay? I don't mind going to heaven, but I don't want to go that way, I guess. I mean, I'll take it. If that's the way I'm going, and I know I'm going, sign me up. It's not going to feel good. But I believe when Stephen was being stoned, I believe God gave him the courage and the capability to get through it. So, what are you going to do? I mean, really? People, I mean, there's no more playing around with this stuff. I mean, I don't know why, Satan makes it so damn easy to go out in his playground for you to forget all about Christ. Churches are making it so easy for people not to walk in there. Disbelief, numbers, finances, whatever their purpose is, because most of the churches are buying with another church, sister church or whatever, and it's ran by an organization basically, and it's a profit thing to them. They don't want to. They have to take from another Jonas's church. Well, this Jonas's church is running itself, man. We can't keep giving you the profit off of this to keep you afloat. Either you get something right, or we're going to have to shut it down. It becomes a business. It truly does. And some of the churches, I truly believe, are not ready. They're not ready for the outside people to come into their dwelling. Because, and why do I say this? Because when you speak the demonic realm, man, it's like people running. They just sit back and stare at you. But yet they're going to speak about it in a subtle way. Satan is not subtle, people. Hell is not subtle. There's nothing subtle about going to hell. We can't save people from hell if they don't know what it is, what it's like. God has allowed people to go there to give witness. Forget about it. We failed. We're going to fail. And they're going to be judged accountable for the things that God has sent into them. And I truly believe it. I truly believe what I'm speaking. Because how do we bring them off the streets, out of there? How do we ask them, do you want to receive Jesus Christ, if they can't believe? They don't have to believe hell's real, people. They live it. You live it every day. Every day you're in some kind of agony, some kind of pain, some kind of something where you're just at your end's wits. Suicide rate is climbing. Why? Because Satan's killing them off. Starting to kill them off. Because the more that this cuckoo for Cocoa Puff stuff starts happening, the more people are going to be like, I can't take this. Maybe I'll try this Christian. You don't think God knows your timeline from A to B? Okay? There is no C. Once you hit B, that's it. C is going to be hell or heaven. You pick. You pick. It's your free will. We can plan for vacations. We can plan our lives. We can plan our retirement. We can plan if we pass away tomorrow to make sure your spouses, your kids are taken care of, whatever. In my case, my wife, I guess, that's about all. She'll be taken care of. Not as much as I thought it would have been because of all the crap with Walmart. But they don't think about what you lose. They just want to think that, all this is because of what they say it is. I'm so sick of listening to people's opinions of what they think and who, what, where. It's in God's hands, and whatever comes out of it, if something comes out of it, or nothing comes out of it, I'm okay with it. I truly am. I'm just done living by their rules. And I live by God's rules, and I live on His word, His faith, and that's all I care about. I don't care about what someone thinks they can win for me, what somebody can do for me, because I don't see man doing anything for me, but I see God doing everything. I don't see family doing shit. Nothing. And I truly mean nothing. But I hear about all the things they go and do on the other side of the family. Amazing, isn't it? Basically, I had a guy tell me once, all I was good for was a paycheck. Just an ATM card, Nelson. Yep. I believe him. And I still believe him. But you do accordingly what you think is right. And what I believe is right today is what Jesus did on that cross. What he did before the cross, what he did after the cross, what he did when he did after the grave, after coming out of hell with our names, what he did and when he went back to the kingdom, what he did then. I believe in all that. I believe he made a lot of miracles happen. I believe he cast out many demons. I know he's cast out many demons away from me and out of my life. I know the pruning away and the falling away, people. You know why it's so hard to allow Christ to examine you and to prune and sculpt you and remove things from your life? Because it just may be people. It just may be family. It just may be friends. It just may be movies. It may be music. It may be a lot of things that you're not willing to give up. Is what you're not willing to give up worth hell? If you can answer yes, then you continue on doing the mark of the beast and the signs of the beast. What do you think that is, people? It's a beast. It's a demon. Hail to Lucifer, man. That's what you do when you do that. You're giving Lucifer all hell. Here you go, Lucifer. I'm following you, buddy. Yeah. You can make your bunkers. You can make what you can call them bug outs. You can call them shelters. You can call them underground protection tunnels. You can make a vault that nobody's going to be able to blow up and get into. You can make sure that thing is best of the best of the best. What are you going to do? You think you're going to stop Lucifer from getting you? You're wrong. He's already doing it. He's already doing it. These people out here, they're not crazy. They're possessed. It's a demonic influence over them. Why would people do what they do? Come on. If you really think that, well, they're just schizophrenic. They're hearing voices. You hear what they say, they're hearing the voices again. People, come on. What voices are they hearing? The whisperers. The watcher. You don't want to do that now, do you? No. They're just trying to get you into church to be like them. I'm telling you, you're not going to like it. Then they don't go. What is it worth to you? I guess it's a better way to put it. What's it worth? Your life? Friendships? Family? Let me tell you, family will turn on you quicker than your friends will these days. Oh, yeah. You know, they, once they suck the blood, and it's like a mosquito. Once it's got all the blood they think they can get out of you, bye. It's okay. You got to live with your decisions in your life. If you plan on being here in the end times, then you better keep watching those people that are teaching you how to survive. Well, you might want to call Sylvester Stallone and find out how he stood out in the middle of a field and never got hit by a bullet, too. Okay? Because he's going to tell you, hey, it's Hollywood. You know, I remember I watched a thing of Star Wars when they were making the Solo. I think it was Solo, one of them, and Harrison Ford. So it might have been The Force Awakens, because Harrison Ford was in it. And the guy walked up to Harrison Ford that was going to fly the Falcon. Goes, man, how do you do this? And how do you make it look so real? And he goes, listen, it's just a movie, basically. You just got to act. You just got to make them believe it. pushing buttons, move. Harrison Ford was probably one of the most to the point. It's like I can imagine. A lot of people. I was reading reviews on people's opinion of why Han Solo got killed off and why Harrison Ford would want that. When the movies just keep continuing, because he's sick of people coming up to him wanting to be Han Solo and doing all this stuff. People, after a while, it has to get old and exhausting. See, we don't respect them as who they are as a person. We see them as that character. Oh, I cannot believe Han Solo's doing this. I can't believe he's doing this movie. He's an actor. That's what he does for a living. It'd be like him coming into McDonald's and going, oh, I can't believe you're working here. You should be working at Burger King. I seen you one day at Burger King. You need to be at Burger King. Well, I'm making a little bit more of it. I don't care. You're the Burger King worker. Go over there and be Burger King. See what I'm saying? We are so judgmental. We are so about ourselves and what works for us, and this world is showing it, cutting you off. I mean, I remember when somebody says, well, you damn truck drivers don't know how to put on turn signals because you damn four-wheelers don't know how to let us over when we do. And we're running out of room, or I got to get off an exit. I just can't go to some exit up the road. It's because sometimes it says no re-entry. And if I've already drove 40 minutes out of my way trying to get to that area, and then I see that going, damn, when's the next exit? I just can't turn around like you guys can turn around. That's why. You don't let us over. Or if we're trying to get on, then you start speeding up instead of giving us that freedom to come over like we do you. I do. I slow down. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 cars get on before me. And at one time, no kidding, I flashed my lights so they can get on because I'm coming up. I'm going, it's to the point you either go or you're going to run off the road because there's nothing I can do. I can't get over. I'm not moving. And I'm not going to continue to move for these cars to put myself at risk of hitting somebody when you got to yield. It's called yield. That means you yield to oncoming traffic. If you can get in front of somebody, fine. If not, then you might have to stop. If then that yield becomes a stop. I mean, but yet you go and force yourself, which causes an accident. So what happens is the guy comes up. He was the 4th car in line, and I'm going, like, telling him to stop because I'm looking what's ahead. He comes flying in there and squeezes in and he rolls down the window and flips me off. Like it's my fault. I'm like, you're flipping me off because it's my fault? I was like, okay, whatever, man. Whatever. I almost ripped your car apart, but okay. And I point up at my windshield like this, pointing at the camera going, because I automatically hit the camera because I knew what he was going to do. So I wanted them to be able to see if he clipped the front of the bumper, it wasn't my fault, it was his fault. As long as he didn't hit the stair tire, I was fine. I don't care if you hit that bumper, you hit the push bar in the front. I don't really care. Or some people call it the ram bars, whatever the hell you want to call them. I don't really care what you call them, the cattle pushers and all that kind of stuff. I don't care. You can hit everything under the sun. You hit that stair tire and you throw me off that road. I hope you're coming down that road into that ravine or whatever it is with me. Because then you can explain to me why you did something so damn stupid and not sit there and think about life. Because we're not thinking. Because the enemy is blocking spiritual hearing, spiritual sight. You see what you want to see. You hear what you want to hear. You blame what you want to blame. It's everybody's fault but yours. You own the world. The world should bow down. I'm going to make threats and you're going to be shaking in your boots. I'm not shaking in my boots. I feel sorry for you. I have pity for you because you're going to hell. I mean, come on. Here's one. Somebody asked me, Nelson, if you had to explain to the people about these shape changers and these attachments and these identifiers and all this stuff, I said I would have to use, the only thing that I could use that people would understand is the gay community. What do you mean? You look at the people that look like a woman, all of a sudden they get into the he-she relationships, woman and woman. One, I remember asking one, well, who's going to be the male and who's going to be the female? Well, neither one of us. We're both going to be the female. I said, no. You're missing my point. Well, one of you will take on the male role. Sure enough, they start letting their leg hairs grow out and all this stuff. Or now what's happening is the shift changers. The women are starting to look like guys. And when the guys start living the woman's role, they start talking funny. They start looking like women. Most of them start tattooing themselves all up because that little part of them are left going, I can't believe I'm doing this. And then the only control they have is tattoos. You ever know, people, and I speak this all the time, you ever notice somebody that falls into that lifestyle? They're tattooing the crap out of themselves. Now the bull ring's going in. All you're doing is putting that hoop in there for Satan to wrap that chain in there and drag you off to hell. Watch and see. Watch and see. You can call me crazy all you want. Look at the people. Just look at the people around you. Just take a good long look at what people's doing. Look at the Walmarts, man. People are going in there, opening stuff, eating stuff, and that's not theft. But yet they take the containers and hide it behind stuff in the aisles and try to stash it in places. Well, Walmart's getting a little more probably tired of it, and they're starting to beef up their security and everything else. It doesn't matter. It's going to get so far out of control. You know why all this stuff is taking place? Because it has to do the shutdown, people. Drive-up service, home delivery. You don't see it yet, do you? You think the COVID was bad? Wait till this happens. Wait till your television goes off and you will have no internet. Wait till your cell phones. How many of you got landlines? It doesn't matter. They're going to shut them off too. They're going to control your power. They're going to control. There will come a time when they're going to have so much time of power in your house because they want you to sit in the dark. They want you to be fearful of the noises that you hear. But I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not. You think after the rapture, you're just going to walk out the door whenever you want? You think you're going to go to the grocery stores and buy whatever you want? No. You're going to be under one currency, Mr. Bitcoin. Where you can scam people and invest in the Bitcoin, have a Bitcoin account, and you can make money disappear. That's why they're not catching these scammers, people. Because they're investing everything into these Bitcoin accounts. And they're transferring it from these Chime accounts, all these other, whatever other accounts out there, Cash Apps and all this stuff. And every one of those apps, people has a thing in there where you can transfer stuff into Bitcoin. So what happens? You put it in Bitcoin for a minute and you transfer it to another account and it's gone. You basically cash out the Bitcoin. You might lose $20, $40. Who cares? You stole the damn money anyways. What difference does it make? Oh, I got this account that I don't ever have to pay interest even if I overdraft. Okay, well, now you're being taught how to just spend your money. Eventually, someone comes knocking. Take it to what it is. It doesn't really matter. You're going to believe what you want to believe. You're doing a fine job at it, by the way. You're doing a really fine job. Just continue on to do what you're doing, and you're going to live a happy, loving life, and it's going to be too late when you're crying. You go to the book and read when the servant and his master went to hell, and his servant went to heaven, and he's crying up to them, telling Abram to let his brothers know, and he's begging for a drop of water on his tongue. So what does that tell you, people? If he's able to feel and feel pain and to feel knowledge of what's happening, then everything I've been telling you is true. You go to hell just like the way you are. Full flesh, full knowledge of everything. Full knowledge of what you did. And you're going to replay every single thing you did wrong to someone. Every single thing. It's going to be the most greatest movie you've ever seen. You know why? Because you are the director and you created it. You're not going to have to worry about the skinwalkers and the shape changers and the jinns and all that, because they're just going to tear you down. They're just going to rip you from shred to shreds, and they're going to be laughing at you. And if you like someone torturing you and laughing at you, I don't care how bad you think you are, you ain't going to stand it. You're going to be like a rag doll being slung across hell, drug across spike coals. They're so spiking, almost like them things that the truck drivers put on their rims and stuff in the front. They look like little spikes coming out of there. You just pay attention to the front tire of a semi truck, with the ones that are all decked out and stuff. They'll have like little pegs, or they'll have like little cone looking things sticking all the way around the tire. And if you ever seen them, you'll know what I'm talking about. I just don't understand it. How many witnesses do you need? How many people do you need? And what gets me is when people say stuff and people just look at you like you're crazy, then all of a sudden they hear it from somebody else, then all of a sudden now they believe it. I'm like, okay. It's like, it just makes you feel like, I don't know. It just, I don't even have the words for it. It's kind of like you're upset, you feel disrespected, and there's so many things all in it. But then I just gotta go, sad for you, because you could have heard some more stuff. But it took you that long to believe? Oh my gosh. Well, time's a wasting, people. If you don't start listening to the stuff now and believing it, and believing what's there. I mean, I'm not saying to test the word with the Bible, is what I'm telling you. If it matches the Bible, you dang well better believe it's going to happen. It's up to you. I'm going to end this. It's 52 minutes. I'm going to get some sleep. I fell asleep again. I hate falling asleep during the day, because I kept waking up and I kept trying to force myself not to fall asleep, and I can't help it. When this pain kicks in, it drains me. But then I feel a little bit better when you get some sleep. But it is what it is. I don't know. I really don't know anymore, people. I just, I don't know. Some days, the stuff I see, it's hard to deal with. It truly is. It's hard to deal with family. But I tell you one thing that's certain. Jesus is the only way. And I truly mean that. Don't waste too much time trying to get there, okay? It's up to you. God bless you guys. I love you. hope this is very knowledgeable for you, and I hope it's giving you some stuff to think about. As always, feel free to leave questions, comments, anything more you want me to touch on before I move on to the next. I will do that. Make sure you guys, if you like it, the videos, make sure you like it, subscribe to it, and share it, please. That's all I ask. God bless you. Love you. Till the next one.